Hello children, my name is Ranjana Srivastav. I am your science teacher from Mikra Primary English Medium School branch. Today I am going to start the chapter 4 of NCERT Science textbook of Standard 6. The chapter name is Sorting Materials into Groups. So students, let's begin the chapter. Objects around us. We have seen that our food and clothes have so much variety in them. Not just food and clothes, there is such a vast variety of objects everywhere. We see around us a chair, a block cart, a cycle, cooking utensils, books, clothes, toys, water, stones, and many other objects. All these objects have different shapes, colors, and uses. So students, before moving forward, it's very important to understand that what are objects and what are materials and how they are different from one another. We have already studied in chapter 1 that food is made up of one or more ingredients. In the similar manner, an object is made up of one or more materials. Children, if you look around you, you will find yourself are surrounded by a variety of objects. Your table, chairs, blackboard, chalk, books, notebooks, pen, pencils, eraser, duster, bottles, containers, almirah, fans, AC, utensils, bags, purses, sofa, TV, fridge, your clothes, matchbox, computer, laptop, mobile, toys, bat, ball, mirror, doors, cars, scooter, bicycle. All of these are objects. Understood? Next, look around the identify and objects that are round in shape. Our list may include a rubber ball, a football, a glass marble. If we include objects that are nearly round, our list could also include objects like apples, oranges, and earthen pitcher. Suppose we are looking for objects that are edible. We might include all the items that we have listed in table 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3 in chapter 1. We might also find that some of those round shape objects we just listed out are also in this group. Students, which we have already discussed in chapter 1. Now, let us say we wish to make a group of objects that are made of plastics, buckets, lunch boxes, toys, water, containers, pipes, and many such objects may find a place in this group. There are so many ways to group objects. In the above examples, we have grouped objects on the basis of their shape or the materials they are made from. All objects around are made of one or more materials. These materials may be glass, metal, plastics, wood, cotton, paper, mud or soil. Can you think of more example of materials? Children, I have already told you that an object could be made up of one material or it could be made up of many materials. Understood? Let's activity first, children. Let us collect as many objects as possible from around us. Each of us could get some everyday objects from home and we could also collect some objects from the classroom or from outside the school. What will we have in our collection? Chalk, pencil, notebook, rubber, duster, a hammer, nail, saw, spoke of a wheel, bat, matchbox, salt, potato. We can also list objects that we can think of but cannot bring to the classroom. For example, wall, trees, doors, tractor, road, etc. Let us be a little more systematic. List all objects collected in table 4.1. Try to identify the materials that each one is made of. It would be fun to make this a large table, collecting information about as many objects as possible. It may seem difficult to find out the materials out of which some of these objects are made. In such cases, discuss with your friends, teacher and parents to identify the materials. Students, for more understanding, let's take some examples. Here we have a wooden chair that is made up of just one material, that is wood. On the other side we have a pencil that is made up of many materials: rubber, metal, wood and graphite. So now I believe that you have completely understood the difference between objects and materials. Here a pencil is an object and rubber, metal, wood and graphite are the materials. Understood everyone? Now let's see activity 2 children. Table 4.2 lists some common materials. You can also add more materials in column 1 that are known to you. Now try and think of everyday objects you know that are made mainly of these materials and list them in column 2. For example, wood could be used to make chair, table, bed, door, plug, block cardboard, etc. Similarly, paper could be used to make books, calendars, newspapers, magazines, paper bag, etc. Steel could be used to make vehicles, utensils, etc. Glass could be used to make mirror, beakers, test tubes, etc. Understood? Let's see the paragraph children. What do we find from these tables? First, we grouped objects in many different ways. We then found that objects around us are made of different materials. 8 times an object is made of a single material, and objects could also be made of many materials. And then again, one material could be used for making many different objects. Now you need the two important things, that an objects are made up of large variety of materials. What I mean to say is that a table or a chair could be made up of wood or plastic or from iron. Similarly, the utensils could be made up of plastics or iron or aluminium or steel. Your clothes could be made up of cotton, fabric or silk or polyester or nylon. The other thing you need to understand is that a given material could be used to make a large number of objects. Understood children? What decides which material should be used for making any given objects? It seems that we need to know more about different materials. Now we know that there are variety of materials and these variety of materials are used to make different objects. But how we decide that a particular material is suitable for making a particular types of objects? Why always a window is made up of a glass? Why a cup is made up of a plastic or clay and not of cloth? Why a chair or table is made up of wood or plastic and not with paper? The answer is very simple. Based on properties materials, they are used for making different objects. For example, a tea or a coffee mug is always made with the clay or plastic material because its purpose is to hold the liquid. And if you try to make a coffee mug with cloth material, it will not be able to hold the liquid. Similarly, windows are always fixed with glass so that we can always see outside even when they are closed. Understood? Now, properties of materials. Have you ever wondered why a tumbler is not made with a piece of cloth? Recall our experiments with pieces of cloth in chapter 3 and also keep in mind that we generally use a tumbler to keep a liquid. Therefore, would it not be silly if we were to make a tumbler out of cloth? What we need for a tumbler is glass, plastic, metal or other such material that would hold water. Similarly, it would not be wise to use paper-like materials for cooking vessels. We see then that we choose a material to make an object depending on its properties and the purpose for which the object is to be used. So what are the all properties of materials that would be important for their uses? Some properties are discussed here. Students, which we have discussed previously, that why a chair or table is made up of wood or plastic and not with paper. The answer is very simple. Based on properties of materials, they are used to for making different objects. For example, a tea or a coffee mug is always made with clay or plastic material because its purpose to hold the liquid, and if you try to make a coffee mug with cloth material, it will not be able to hold the liquid. Understood? So now we know that based on property of particular material, it is used for making different objects. Now we will study about properties of materials. Different properties which we study are appearance, hardness, solubility, flock or sink, and transparency. So first property which we will study is appearance. Appearance is basically how a material looks. Students, let's see about it in more details. Materials usually look different from each other. Wood looks very different from iron. Iron appears different from copper or aluminum. At the same time, there may be some similarities between iron, copper and aluminum that are not there in wood. Based on appearance, the material are classified as shiny and non-shiny. For example, materials such as gold, silver, diamond, iron, copper, aluminium are very shiny, whereas if we talk about wood and plastic, they are dull and are not shiny. So the next property is hardness. So students, now I am going to end this session. We'll continue the chapter tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much.